I'm Edie Lott, and I'm the guide coordinator and have been a guide coordinator for probably 15 years. And I do most of the technology for Ski for Light. I do the website and the YouTube channel and all the new Google Forms that we're on now instead of fillable PDFs. And I hope most of you enjoy those they're much easier. They're certainly easier for most of our blind and visually impaired people. And so I love Ski for Light. The first year that I joined Ski for Light, we went to one of the dinners and some guy got up and he said, "You guides don't know what you do. When the darkness is closing in, you give us a reason for living." And I was hooked. And you can see I'm still hooked now. I'm 81 years old and I don't guide skiing anymore because my knees are wonky and I'm not that good a skier as I used to be, but I still put in a lot of time for Ski for Light because it gives me more than I give it. So, and Vicki, I couldn't do this without her. So Vicki, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Vicki Post, and I live in San Francisco. I'm totally blind, and I've had the good fortune to have friends when I was in college that taught me how to cross country ski. And then some of my friends, their lives were changing, and I was losing my crowd that I skied with. And then I ran into Ski for Light. Yay, I get to keep skiing. So I I got involved with the organization and have been I've been on and off the board. I've been guide training coordinator for quite a while because I love doing that. I love being outdoors and just that kind of freedom that I get from the skiing and the hiking. I also love helping people create partnerships. And that's what I love about the guide training and how you have to create a partnership with each other. And to me, that's one of the reasons that I really got hooked on Ski for Light and that I stay with it. And so I do what I can, and I am unfortunately not going to be there this coming weekend because I'm about to head off and get a guide dog. So kind of had to choose there. But I am excited to be here and looking forward to hearing your questions and sharing what I have with all of you. And thank you all for being here and giving of yourselves. And may you, may we, the people who get your help, give back to you as well. So thank you again for coming. And thank you, Edie, for all the work that you've been doing for us.
Well, it's been a joy. I'm gonna go around as I see the pictures from across the top and then down to the second row. And maybe as we go around and introduce each other, you can many of you have your cameras off. You're able to turn your cameras on so that we can all see each other at least while we're introducing. And so Dwayne, you're next to me across the top in the rows that I see. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Dwayne Chirolo. I'm retired. I live in Fair Oaks. I'm joining this. I'm new to guiding. My son became blind about 4 years ago because of a brain tumor and complications of that. And we're trying to broaden his social network, hoping to get back into hiking. He used to backpack with my son when he was younger. And I know that this should be a rewarding experience. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting up there and guiding my son and learning of what it's going to take to do that. We go on walks occasionally, and he actually runs training for a half marathon now with this group. And so he's probably in better shape than I am. And so we'll probably support each other in this whole endeavor. So I'm looking forward to this. We heard about it through the Society for the Blind that my son takes classes at. And so I'm glad that you guys are here offering this service. It isn't until something like this happens to you, close knit, that you realize how many people are out there supporting the people in need. And we appreciate you guys doing this. So thank you.
we're glad that you're coming and willing to share this with your son too.
Oh, yes.
I see you up there.
Okay, so let me mute this here if I get this.
Lynette, can you unmute and introduce yourself?
I'm Lynette Powell and I'm new to this. I do have a grandson who's legally blind from MS. But Marie and Jim Colbert and Patty and Tom Conk have both raved about this program. So I'm thrilled to be here.
We're thrilled to have you. And Jean Snuggs, you're down on the next row. You're not new to me, but introduce yourself to the group.
I'm Jean Snuggs. I've been involved with the Ski for Light since 2012, and that's when I retired from a career as a physical educator. And one of the joys in terms of my life with the Ski for Light is that I love the challenge of teaching motor skills and having people really get to use their body and to be able to communicate that to a person and to have them perform and figure out the right cues to give someone to be able to move and in the snow, especially. So that is a pretty unique experience for me in terms of my whole career and all, is to be involved with visually impaired persons with that. And I would second a zillion times over that as a guide, whether we're hiking or whether we are out on the snow, it's a challenging endeavor to do this, but it is so incredibly rewarding. And it is so much fun when the folks we're guiding just feel comfortable and can go for it. And it's just a delight to be involved with that. So I'm currently the treasurer of the organization. I'm the one who's been bugging you for money if you haven't paid up yet. No, I know I have all your money. And anyway, it's a nice organization. It's done well for a long time. I think, is this the 30th year, Edie? Or 29th?
Last winter was we're going to be our 30th winter one when the blizzard came in.
Yep.
Yes, so we've been around for a bit.
Anyway,
Anyway,
I'm a while.
Yeah, I'm happy to see you all here. I'm really looking forward to it.
And John, I think John wins the prize of having been around Ski for Light the longest. John, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm John Courtway. I was involved with Sierra Intercity Outings, which started the ski program for visually impaired with Betsy, and then it morphed into this program. So I've been doing this for over 40 years. It's interesting because I have glasses. If I take out my contacts, I'm visually impaired and legally blind. So that's why I started doing this. It's been fun.
Okay. And Gail, you're next. Unmute.
Mute. Hello, I'm Gail Rankin, and I've been volunteering with Ski for Light for a few years now, but it's been very intermittent because of why, and the weather.
Yeah, COVID.
And yeah, exactly. And so even though I've been around a few years, I think I really need some training. That will be really helpful. And I did one summer hiking event, and I've done a couple of ski events. And my background is in biology, and I know how much being outdoors means to me. I mean, I just don't think I could live without it. So any way you can get other people who may not have the opportunity to get out there, I just think that's a really important thing. It just adds so much value and enjoyment to your life. So I'm happy to be able to participate.
We're glad to have you, Gail. And next is Aaron and Bryce, who are new to us, but they have a mom-in-law that isn't new to us. So go ahead, Aaron and Bryce.
I'll go first. My name's Erin Shoemaker. And like Edie said, I'm new to the program. So I'm just looking forward to meeting everyone and getting out and assisting any way I can.
And I'm Bryce Hall, and my mother's Claudia Sawyer, and she's been involved, I think, for a number of years. And this year, we heard there was a need for some more guides, and so felt like this was a great time to get involved, and super excited about it. So,
Okay, we're glad to have you. And Steve, your picture's a little blurry, but I can see you through there.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with my camera, but anyway, sorry about that. Anyway, I'm Steve. My wife Nellie has been involved as a blind skier for probably 20 years or more, and I usually come up and on the ski trips, and I'm not a guide, but I do other volunteering, like helping with the dogs, and they used to have the meals that they do at the Best Western up in the I guess conference room, and I'd help set up with all that with John. And then there was a couple of guys that aren't around anymore that we all used to get together up there and get everything set up, and then help with the luggage and a lot of little chores that we'd help out with. And then, a few years ago they started the hikes, and I figured I could at least do the guiding on the hikes. So that's what I think I'll be doing this weekend. So I'm looking forward to it.
We're going to need you guiding. So,
Okay.
yes. And let's see, Marie and Jim are next. You're muted, Marie.
Okay.
There you go.
There it goes. I'm Marie, and this is Jim, and this will be our second outing, but our first hopefully successful one. We did the training at Tahoe down our ski place last year, but then the event was called off. So we're looking forward to doing it again. We met two great gals who trained us in snowshoeing, which I think hopefully there's some overlap with walking on trail.
There will be. It's different, but there's always some. So we're so glad to have you guys. I'm glad to have all of you. I need all of you. Claudia, you're next.
Well, hello, Edie. Hi, Jean.
Claudia.
Hi there. So good to see you. I'm Claudia, and I started in Ski for Light. I started with skiing first, and it was because of Tom and Doris Gorin. And it was an amazing experience. And so once we started doing the hiking, it was like, wow, let's do that. So I've been doing that since then, and I just really like it. And I really like learning about how other people see the world, how they live in the world. And it just is an amazing experience. So really looking forward to seeing you guys this weekend.
We're really glad you're here. And Doris is right next to you. And Doris has had a knee replacement, was out last year, and she's back with us. And we're so glad to have you back, Doris. Introduce yourself.
I don't know. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not muted. Okay, great. I'm Doris Gorin, and I am happy to be back. Yes, I'll probably be hobbling along, and I told Edie I probably need somebody that's not going to go real far and real strong this year. But I will love getting out there with whoever I can help and be a helpful person too. Most of my experiences with Ski for Light has been on the skiing end. I have done the hiking a couple of years, several years ago now. So this is a good refresher, and looking forward to seeing everybody.
And Linda, unmute.
Hi, excuse me. My name is Linda Zarzana. I'm getting ready to retire. I've been hearing about Ski for Light for quite a number of years and wanting to get involved. I don't know if I'm going to be available this weekend because I'm chauffeuring people around from here and there and everywhere. But I'm hoping that continue on with the group with either cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, and or hiking.
Okay, we're glad to have you. And Nancy and Dwayne, who I'm so excited to get to know, introduce yourselves. They have more experience than I have, I think, but not here. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm Nancy, and we're new to Reno. We've been here about a year and a half. We came from Alaska, and we're involved with Challenge Alaska, which is an adaptive sports program for people with different disabilities. And we were involved with the ski program, both the downhill and the Nordic. So hiking's new for us, so we're hoping to learn a lot. So that we're great guides. Go ahead.
Oh, and I'm Dwayne. Yeah, we also did Ski for Light for a week in Anchorage when they were there, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. And that was a lot of fun. Like Nancy said, most of our guiding has been in cross country skiing and alpine skiing, and we haven't done hiking. So there's probably a couple of little things different, but we're looking forward to it.
You'll do fine. Vicky can give you some tips. I know that. And I watched he put a brand new skier on skis at our day trip that we had before the big storms came in. And I watched him introducing him to the skis and showing him how they go on. And I was so impressed. You guys are great guides. And we have Suza left.
Hi, I'm Suza Cooper, and I'm new to this. I heard about Ski for Life from a friend who did it in the Seattle area and had a really great, wonderful experience. So I wanted to join up, and my father was blind for part of his life. So, but this will be great to get trained and do this coming weekend.
Okay, now that we all have a little bit of an introduction of who we are, both old and new. Vicky, do you want to give us just a short history of Ski for Light?
Yeah. So we talk about Ski for Light and we talk about Sierra Regional Ski for Light. And Ski for Light is a national organization. You know how it is, one organization begets another, begets another, begets another. And way back in 1975, a couple of Norwegians basically had started there was a big cross-country ski program in Norway, and they brought it over here basically and called it Race for Light. And the first year it started, it was just like a cross-country ski race. But then they turned it into a recreational program. So that program, Ski for Light, it still exists. It happens every year in a different location. And it's the week long that Dwayne and Nancy talked about. A number of people have been there. And you paired up for a week. And out of that, a lot of people got the idea to create something similar in their part of the country. So there have been as many as 9 regionals. I think it might be down to 7 now. We are one of the regionals. And so that's why we're Sierra Regional Ski for Light, part of that larger group. And when it started in the 70s, there were not many adaptive sports programs for blind people at all. So this for a while was the way that a lot of blind people got introduced to the outdoors and to the idea that they could do more than they thought. So the motto of the national organization was, if I can do this, I can do anything. And we try to carry that on in our regional. We are a little bit looser than the larger organization. Each regional has its own flavor, and we keep evolving. We started out strictly cross-country ski, then we added snowshoeing, and then some of us just decided we wanted to add hiking as well. So it's evolving as the needs evolve and people's desires evolve, and it wouldn't exist without the visually impaired people, and it wouldn't exist without the volunteers and without the guides. So we are really, really glad to have you, because we want to keep this going for as long as we can. That's the nutshell version. A lot more to read up on the different websites, but just so you kind of have a sense that there's a history behind it.
And right now we're going to have a video, and hoping my share screen works, about sighted guiding. And it's not about hiking. It's about walking stairs, going different places with a visually impaired person. Some of you have seen it before, as I said at the beginning, but I get something out of it every time I see it. And I often forget the things from one time to the next. So let's hope that my share screen works. Optimize. Okay.
Hi, my name is Larissa Desires. I'm a certified orientation and mobility specialist, which we shorten to O&M. I teach people who are blind or visually impaired how to travel safely and confidently indoors and outdoors, and I give people an opportunity to practice their new skills. The first thing I want people to know is a technique for walking with another person called sighted guide or human guide. For this video, I will call it the more traditional term sighted guide, although a person who is visually impaired can be an excellent guide if they are skilled travelers themselves. For this video, you are the guide, and your companion is the person who is blind or visually impaired and requesting assistance. Sighted guide technique allows both people on the sighted guide team to feel comfortable, safe, and actively walking together. So, how does it work? First, don't assume someone who is blind or visually impaired needs a guide. Ask, would you like me to guide you? If the answer is yes, touch the back of your companion's hand with the back of your hand and let them follow your arm up to the elbow. They should hold on to the back of your elbow with their hand in the shape of the letter C, like they would if holding a cup. If your companion needs more support, then it's okay for them to link arms with you. You and your companion should walk almost beside each other, while you stay a half a step to a step ahead. Most of the time, you will maintain this position. You should keep your arms steady and locked comfortably by your side. Your companion should stay close to you. The sighted guide team should walk at a pace that is comfortable for both people. While walking, go ahead and have a conversation, using special verbal cues for guidance only when needed. If your companion is very new to vision loss, appears anxious, is using a modified grasp, or expresses curiosity about the surroundings, give them more detail about the environment and provide extra verbal cues to help anticipate obstacles. An experienced team will not need much verbal cueing and will rely more on physical cues. When you approach a narrow path, or need to walk through a crowd, or go through a door, bring your arm behind your back to cue your companion to line up single file. It's okay for your companion to let their hands slide down from the elbow to the wrist to allow more room for walking. At the end of the narrow space, bring your arm back to your side to resume walking in a basic sighted guide position. When you approach a seat from the front, approach the front edge of the seat squarely. Bring your companion's legs up to the seat of the chair until their legs touch it. Most people should be able to seat themselves at this point. In special situations, when extra assistance is needed, watch to make sure the seat is clear and say something only if your companion's safety is clearly at risk. When approaching a seat at a table, approach the chair squarely from behind. Place your hand on the back of the chair and allow your companion to follow your arm down to the back of the seat. Again, most people should be able to seat themselves at this point. Remember, only if special assistance is clearly needed, give simple verbal.
Can you guys hear and see the video?
Yes.
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 Information.
Okay, I just wanted to correct it.
When you approach a curb, stop at the top or bottom as square to the curb as possible. Allow your companion to catch up to you. Take a clear, deliberate step and, this is important, keep your guiding arm locked by your side. This gives clear information to your companion about the height of the step. Stop for a moment to allow your companion to catch up with you, then keep walking in the usual sighted guide position. Stairs are similar to a curb. Stop at the top or bottom squarely. Allow your companion to catch up with you. Make sure your companion can grab the railing if one is available. As you go up or down the stairs, stay one step ahead of your companion. Again, except in special circumstances, keep your arm locked by your side. Stop at the end of the stairs and allow your companion to catch up. Then keep walking as usual. Describe the steps if they are unusual. It's okay to mention if there are a few or many steps. Do not count the number of steps, as this is distracting and not the safest practice. About face is a great technique for tight spaces like narrow hallways or elevators. You and your companion simply face each other and initiate a sighted guide grip with the opposite hands while turning yourself 180 degrees in that small space. You initiate the grip with the touch on the back of the hand, just as before. For doorways, just as with all other sighted guide skills, the guide always goes first. You will open the door, bring your arm behind your back in a narrow passageway position, and walk through the door with your companion, who should be ready to take the door and close it behind the team. You can give verbal cues, such as, "The door opens toward us. The door is on our left side." It's easier and safer to keep a car door closed when you approach it with your companion. Place your hand on the handle and allow them to follow your arm to the handle. At that point, your companion can open the door to the car and get in on their own. In special circumstances, more verbal assistance may be needed. Please do make sure the seat is clear. So today we showed you how to use sighted guide technique with your friend, family member, colleague, patient, student, stranger, anyone you know who is blind or visually impaired and would like to walk with you. Sighted guide technique can be used anywhere you want to go. Here are the most important things to remember. The person you are guiding should hold on to the back of the elbow like they are holding a cup. You, the guide, always go first, through doorways, up and down stairs, etc. Never grab, push, pull, or otherwise physically manipulate the person you are guiding. Thank you for taking the time to learn sighted guide or human guide techniques today. Please share this information widely. And please refer anyone you know who has experienced vision loss to a local agency that has a certified orientation and mobility specialist on staff.
Okay. Vicki, one of the things I thought when we were watching that is, I don't remember when I was hiking always having my visually impaired person hold on to me. Sometimes we just on smooth trails walk side by side.
Yeah, we'll talk about that because sometimes there are special circumstances on trails, depending on how rocky they are or how narrow they are. So we'll talk about that, but for the most part, and different people will have different ideas and different needs, but for the most part, that is what you will do.
Does anybody have questions about the video?
Edie, I don't have questions specifically about the video, but before we close this session, can we talk about what hikes we're anticipating doing?
Yep.
So that we're prepared.
For the end of that, yeah, especially the first day.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have a question. Vicki, you said that is what we will do with them, does that mean they'll always you expect them to be holding on to you?
A lot of people will.
Okay.
But yeah, depending on if they have a dog, they won't be. Sometimes when I did some tougher hikes, and you get in places like Cable's Lake where it's really, really rocky and really narrow, I went behind and held on to my guide's pack. My husband and I did Yosemite that way, up at Young Lakes, you know, because it's narrow and you can just go boom, 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 and sort of follow around. But you'll have a lot of new people, and so for the kind of hiking, a lot of what you will do, they will most likely be holding your elbow unless they want to use. Some people like to use their trekking poles and walk like behind you, or you know, we'll talk about that a little bit more too. So different people will have different desires, but you will also be guiding them sometimes not on the trail, but just going to the lodge or back to the bus or into the clubhouse for dinner. And so a lot of these techniques will apply there. But okay. So the main thing to get from this is that this is a basic technique, and then there are all kinds of ways to modify. And I gotta tell you, I still do not understand that about face thing. I really don't. I'm like, we just kind of twirl around, and I'm gonna have to practice that with someone from. I have no idea how that would work.
So I
go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I normally hike with walking sticks,
mm-hmm.
So I would assume that all you're going to be able to do is have one walking stick if you do, because they're going to have hold of your arm on the other side. They might have a dog and a walking stick.
Yeah, or no walking sticks. When I climbed Mount Shasta, the guy who was guiding me, we shared a stick in the middle. So we each had a pole on the outside and the pole in the center for a while until it got narrow and we couldn't do that anymore. So you adapt according to the team, according to who you have and what the needs are.
Yeah, we do have a couple of high partial, legally blind, but high partial sighted people, and they will just be walking along, but will want guidance about rocks and things like that. Most of the ones that you guys will be guiding, though, are either totally blind,
yeah,
very low partial.
Vicki, can you talk more about the dogs and the different variety of where if the dog will lead or follow or be next to it?
Yeah, that's on my list. I want to do communication first. Just want to make sure there are no more questions from the video.
I was going to just add, no, this isn't from the video. I guess I should wait.
Mm-hmm.
But when we were talking about the walking sticks, one of the advantages of the person having access to two sticks, and I've used, we've shared a stick in the middle between, the
mm-hmm.
third stick there, is that it's sometimes if you're going up or down anything that's very steep, it does allow you to put more weight onto the pole, and the distance things are that you're stepping up or stepping down that you can't do with the normal cane that a person would use, because the hiking pole is just it's shorter but it gives you it can give them a feeling, especially on a steep trail or a steeper trail or one with steps of how far up or how far down a step is, and you can put some weight on it, and that's an advantage to that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're gonna cover communications?
Yep. So one of the things, it kind of got said in the video, but not as clearly as I like to say it. If you remember nothing else from this training, remember that this is all about communication. Communication. You will hear me say that 1,000 times. So you're creating a partnership, and blind people are as diverse a group as any group, as are you. And so the thing to remember when you are introduced to the person that you'll be guiding on the trail, that you have to get to know them, they have to get to know you. So it's very important to say, okay, what are your needs? What are my needs? Like you might have to say, okay, you know, I got a bit of a bum knee, so I'm going to be a little slower on downhills. What about you? I might say to someone, for example, if you were hiking with me, I would tell you, okay, I don't see anything and I don't hear on the right side. So you might have to help me watch out for trees or things on the right that I won't hear if you know, if you're guiding me, that kind of thing. You want to ask questions about how much they see or don't see. There are an amazing variety of visual acuities in any group of blind and visually impaired people. Some people see shadows, some people see the trail with holes in it. Some people can see great outdoors in the daytime, not at night. Other people, it's the reverse. So part of it is taking the time to introduce yourselves to each other. What kind of experience have you had? Are we doing, you know, kind of beginning hiking? Are we doing moderate trails? Are we going for the big time? To take the time, do you have, you know, snacks with you? Do you want to come back for lunch? What do you want to accomplish? And the main thing to remember is that the key to success, again, communication. So if you aren't comfortable for whatever reason with the person that you're with, it is better for everyone to actually say something and trade. Because we do our best to do really good matches and try to fit people, you know, to bring people together who will work well together. But sometimes, you know, things happen. So feel free to speak up. We also will try to pair you so that maybe there are 4 of you together so that you can share experiences and you're not necessarily going to be by yourself. But again, really talk about any health issues, hearing issues, visual issues, anything that might impact your communication on the trail. So, like there are some people that might have a bit of a hearing issue and will need you to speak up. There are some people that are going to want to do a stroll and learn about the flowers or the plants or the trees or the stop and listen to the sounds. A lot of, you know, especially people who are there for the first time, don't get to have the experience of just listening to the wind in the trees and the birds in the distance and the silence and the kind of echoey sounds. So if you notice you've got someone who's interested or who's new, you can point things like that out and say, tell me how much you need. Are you into the exercise or are you into the experience? What is it you're going for here? And as you're going, techniques can vary. We don't expect you as your first time to know everyone that's there. And there are a lot of new visually impaired people. They may not know what they need either. So there may be a little bit of experimentation. Most of the time, as we said, some people will take your elbows, some people will be with hiking sticks. If you're with someone with the 2 sticks, you want to stay close because some of us, especially those of us who are totally blind, we don't always walk straight. And it may look like, okay, the trail's straight, you're good. And then we'll just make a little left turn and like, well, where are you going? So, and it's okay to laugh about that. Like the more you can relax and just say, okay, I'm new at this. I'm awkward a little bit with this. And they can say, yeah, me too. And be easy about it. And if you need to stop and take a break, stop and take a break, because you're going to be doing extra brain work. Not only are you watching their feet, their heads for those trees that hang over. Oh, look at that. Wow. But you're also watching yours. So it's extra brain work. You may notice that you get a little more tired than you think you ought to. And your brain adjusts to guiding and communicating while you're hiking. And so someone with a dog, again, different people do this differently. When I go out there with a dog, I want to see what the dog will do. So I'm like, okay, I will have the guide go behind me and say, we'll go, tell me if there's anything like really tricky, or there are forks and the dog picks a fork that really isn't a good fork and we're going the other way. I will tend to, even on like steps and roots and rocks, read the dog, and sometimes I'll use a hiking stick on the other side just to see kind of what I'm doing. But I like to really see what the dog will do. And other people like their dogs to follow, and they'll say to the guide, no, you go ahead and I'll follow. The hard thing about that is that then you can't really see what the person is doing. So that may be something that you have to work out. Some people like to go in groups. Some dogs will have more experience on the trail than others. So a dog that's brand new, if somebody hasn't hiked with a dog before, there may be a little kind of fiddly twiddly, like, okay, let's give the dog a minute to figure this out. But again, it's really about communication. Asking questions. You may try having the person hold on to your elbow, and you may decide, oh, that doesn't work. So then you try the hiking sticks, or you may start with the hiking sticks. The thing I don't like about the hiking sticks is that sometimes it slows me down and I want to go. So it really depends on who you're guiding and how far you want to go and what you want to accomplish. The main thing is that you can say, okay, there are a lot of rocks, there are roots here. What you don't want to do is panic. You don't want to go, careful, careful, careful. Oh no, this is really tricky. This is really tricky, because that'll wind you both up. So you want to just as much as you can say, okay, we're in new territory, rocks and roots. Let's see how this works. And you work it out together. And if you find you're in over your head, you get out of the situation and ease up for a bit. And communicate. I can't say that enough. When you are not on the trail, what I want you to remember is that you aren't responsible for the person that you're paired with. You're not responsible for them 24/7. So when you're off the trail, you are welcome to hang out with your person and have meals with them and whatever you do. You're also welcome to relax and be a volunteer and hang out with other blind people or other guides. That at that point, many of them will be pretty self-reliant and self-sufficient. And so again, always ask, how you doing there? Do you need some help? Do you want a guide? Want an elbow? That's always the one I like, when somebody just comes by and goes, hey, want an elbow? It's like, yeah, sure. Let me be lazy today. I'll take it. And then just helping people kind of know, okay, what kind of help do you need in terms of the food and in terms of setting up? So your best bet is to just ask. No question is a stupid question. And be yourselves, because that's who we want to hang out with, is you as you are.
We are starting our first day at Tahoe Donner Cross Country and using their trails and their maps at the Bike Works, but the restrooms are open there, and you're probably going to have to show if they haven't been there for winter skiing, we have a lot of new hikers that have never been to Tahoe Donner Lodge. So you're probably going to have to show them where the restrooms are when the bus will bring them there. We'll meet them. So orientate yourself, get there a little early. I'll be sending an email out with times and details. And a lot of you I know are really familiar with Tahoe Donner, the Adventure Center Lodge, but you don't want our new totally blind people that have never been with Ski for Light before wandering around lost. So when the bus gets there, be sure and check with people if they need to use the restroom and guide them to the correct restrooms. And as Vicki said, you're not responsible for necessarily for the person you're guiding. I'm probably not going to be guiding, at least on Saturday. And but I'll be around to help people if they need to get to the restroom or want to after the hike, if they get back and the cafe there is still open, want to buy a snack or something. That's another thing where you could be willing to help either the person you're guiding or anybody that's around. And like Vicki said, some people are very self-sufficient. Some people need a lot of help. And another thing I kind of wanted to warn you, I had everybody fill in, if you noticed on the forms, easy, hardy, medium hiking, easy hiking, hardy hiking. If you're a gung-ho hardy hiker, what might be a medium hike to somebody that comes up from the flatland and hasn't hiked all year might be what you consider a really easy or short hike. And some of our people last year hiked. Well, John, you had one that didn't go very far. What did she go? A mile or so? Or the gal that you guided last year?
Yeah. But I was up for an easy hike, and we did an easy hike.
And then we had some people that started going off Hawks to Hawks Peak, right?
Easy could be anywhere from 1 to 3 miles, and a medium one could be 2 to 4 miles or so. Probably for our flatland people that are living in the flatland, anything above 5 miles, I would guess, is kind of hardy. What do you think, Jean? It's different than you guys if you guys hike regularly all the time at altitude.
Well, yeah, and it makes a big difference at Tahoe Donner whether you stay on the top where it's relatively level or whether you drop your way down and, you know, it's a long way down that road to the meadow and working your way back up. So, you know, the trails are nice because they're so wide. It gives you an opportunity to hike side by side.
Yeah.
And heat makes a difference too.
Oh, yeah.
And we won't have heat because the highs are supposed to be 75 and 76. So thank the weather gods that we're not going to have 90-degree weather, which has certainly happened here this summer sometimes. I was a little worried about heat and about rain, and we're not supposed to have either. It's supposed to be great those 3 days. So we will start at Tahoe Donner, and I'll be sending you guys out, all of the guides out, emails with specifics. I think the bus is going to arrive between 9:30 and 10. So we'll meet out in the parking lot probably about 9:30. I hope to do the matches with the hiker coordinator and the other guide coordinator tomorrow. And I hope to send you out a list of who you're guiding on Saturday by Thursday. But if I don't, I'll tell you Saturday morning. We'll see how things and we may have a couple extra guides Saturday. So I may pair some of you, especially some of you new ones, could trade off. It's pretty exhausting and intensive guiding. I'm definitely short on Sunday and Monday. So keep that in mind. Any of you that didn't sign up for all 3 days, if you can do it other days, let me know. And there are, as I said, there's a couple of high partials that and they're very hardy hikers, and all they need is somebody to keep them on the trail and tell them if there's a tree falling across the trail or something. See quite well, but see quite well considering being legally blind.
So Edie, you're going to pairing us based on their. Have we already told you if we want to do easy hikes or moderate hikes? Or?
In your application, you filled it in. Let me see, what did you put? I have it here right in front of me. Marie and Jim, you put
Moderate?
put easy to medium.
Yeah, okay.
So I wouldn't give you somebody that's going to go real far. So, yeah.
So Edie, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay. Are we setting up in the club room like we do in the?
That won't be open. We'll have to kind of set it, rendezvous out in the parking lot. The restrooms will be open. And the food is, Bike Works is in the back. I don't know if any of you have been there hiking this summer, and they have maps, but I'm going to try and get enough maps to hand out to you guys of the trails, the summer maps. And I want to go by there tomorrow. I think we'll go over there for a short bike ride and talk to them tomorrow and let them know that you guys are going to be on the trails, and to kind of tell the mountain bikers to please be aware. We don't wear bibs when we're hiking. So,
Oh, yeah, that'd be good because it's really busy over here. I live right around the corner and it's really busy on the weekends, as you know, with bikers.
Right.
And we might want to then practice with our person getting off the trail too. So
Good
that they know
idea.
when a
Good
bicycle is
idea.
coming by, so we aren't all of a sudden just dragging them off the side of the trail. You know,
Right.
that wouldn't be
Right.
good. We might want to practice stepping off
Mhm.
it.
I would like to wear a bib because I think that tells a mountain biker to be, keep away.
Well,
That's assuming bikers will actually see them.
think about that, Vicky. We've never done bibs on hikes.
No, we haven't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think if I warn the Bike Works, of course, some people just go out and hit the trail on their own bikes too. They never go in Bike Works.
Well,
but
most people aren't coming from Bike Works.
they're coming on their own. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've had a bit of a problem with people just whizzing by you.
Mhm.
So I would recommend at least be on double track.
Yeah. On the wider tracks, like the one up to Sundance Hut or some of the other trails are road.
Oh, there's a lot of double track. There's a lot
of them, yeah. And
do we tend to stay on the double track or we do single track as well?
Last year we just left it up to the people. Most of them stayed on double track, I think. But there were a few people that went out pretty far. Somebody, I think Lobo, one of our guides, took somebody on Monday up to Hawks Peak.
Yep. Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Other question is, should we pack lunches or is it possible that people are going to want to have lunch on the trail?
The people, the hikers have all been told for the first day to bring a packed lunch.
Okay.
So you should pack your lunches too. And I will mention that when I send an email out, because obviously only a portion of you guys are here now. So you'll be getting at least one more long, maybe two more long emails from me. So make sure you go through the whole thing. I get a little wordy sometimes, but I know some of you just go ahead.
Edie, they're all told to bring water as well.
Yeah, they've been told to bring water and to bring, and you might check if they have sunscreen, and you might bring along some sunscreen in your pack in case they don't bring sunscreen. I think Betsy sent out the
Yeah, it's in there. What I would say on this one is you're walking a little fine line because you've got some people who are new. You want to say, do you have everything you need? Need any extra sunscreen? Like you don't want to be kind of like the, school. Now, do you have your water? Do you have your sunscreen? Do but assume they've been told, what the needs are. But just like you would say with, like you were talking, with a friend, hey, Nancy, you got your can I have some sunscreen? You got your water, you got everything you need? Anything else you need? Like casual conversation like that.
That's a good idea, Vicky. You don't want to put somebody like they're not capable of doing that.
No, you want to treat them like adults, and there will be people who go, who didn't read it all the way through. There's always somebody in a group, but start out with the assumption that they are competent, capable adults.
So you might want to encourage them to bring bug spray. It's gotten better, but there is mosquitoes out there.
Yeah, I was going to ask that question, whether or not you have a lot of mosquitoes up there.
They should, where we
I remember many.
seen many. I'm sure the West Coast have them, but bike almost every day out, and where I've gotten mosquitoes is out at Weber Lake, which we aren't going there. That's 29 miles down the road. But
wow,
If you're on the bike, you don't tend to get bit, but if you're off your bike, I've stopped and gotten bit, and it's like crumb. So
wow.
It is.
They should be thinning out now that we're getting into September.
But it's also been raining for the last 2 weeks.
That's true, so they could have rehatched. I didn't think about that. So
yeah, I'd rather have it than not bring it.
Yeah. Doris, you were waving your hand.
I was going to say sun hats are a good idea too.
Hats.
A sun hat is a good idea.
Yeah. Although I'm somebody who I don't wear hats a lot because it muffles the hearing a little bit, and I don't like that. So, but some people do.
Yeah,
It's always a good idea to have one.
I'm not a hat wearer either, unless I'm out in the kayak all day or it's below 15 degrees. I hate hats.
But Edie, you wear so many hats in Ski for Light.
I'm going to be getting together with the other coordinators this week. I'm not quite sure what the plans are for Sunday. I think part of it will be guides may come to the hotel and take the person they're guiding somewhere to hike if they want to. We're working on that. On Monday, the bus will be bringing all the hikers to Donner Lake State Park, and you can hike from there. And there's a docent hike that Jean has coordinated with Tahoe Donner and
with the state park.
I'm in the state park, not Tahoe Donner, sorry, and getting tired. But yeah, so they can go on that, or there's trails up the canyon, Coldstream Canyon, or just the really easy ones around the lake. And it's a good place for the bus to pick people up to go down the hill, because the bus has room to park. They do charge us $100 to park the bus there, which is kind of kind of annoying but it is what it is. Ski for has the money this year. But anyway, it's a real good place because they have to be out of the hotel, and it's an easy place to finish up the hikes and load the bus. And if any of you take a hiker somewhere else to hike, it'll be your responsibility to get them back in time for the bus. And we'll give you those. I don't have the exact time now, but it's somewhere around 2:00 on Monday. We usually have them all gone by, and heave a sigh of relief.
So what time will we be meeting up Sunday and Monday?
Probably, I'm trying to think what we did last year's hike. Do you remember, Jean, what time?
I think it was about 9:30 usually. We wanted people ready to get onto the bus. I don't know if it's 9:30 or 10, but
right.
And on
Depending on how people got where they were going. Some people just went off in cars, and so but I think they tried to go out more or less at the same time. So somewhere in that 9:30, 10. But again, any changes that happen, that will get communicated to you. So obviously, I'm sure that Edie and Betsy have all your cell phones. So if you're not around the hotel, we can communicate with you if anything changes. And ask questions. So if things shift or you're at all unclear about what's happening over the weekend, don't be hesitant, be assertive, ask questions so that you're comfortable, your person's comfortable, and all will go smoothly. And there are always little glitches. There are always little things that change. Your person may be, I want a moderate hike. And by Sunday, they're like, oh God, I'm sore. I got to go easy. So flexibility is part of the deal.
We did have
Fun.
several people not hike by Monday. Not a lot, but there were
Right. That
a
can happen.
that just want to sit around at Donner
Yeah.
Lake on Monday.
Yeah.
So you know, it may work out. The shortages of guides on some of those may work out. And one thing at Donner Lake, there's some of the trails where it's really easy to take somebody out just on a nice walk. They're that packed, very fine gravel that's packed, and they're
Yep.
So will the guides meet people on Sunday at the park? And what time do you
I
think?
think on Sunday we'll probably
Monday, I'm sorry.
On Monday you'd meet at Donner Lake at the state park.
Okay.
Now, we had one guide last year that was going to go on a really long hike on Monday and met the person he was guiding at the crack of dawn at the hotel. So we kind of, you know, you're all adults, and if people make those kinds of plans, just so they make sure that everybody's clear on it and that they let us know, that's fine too. There's no hard and fast rule that everybody has to go on the bus to hike somewhere.
Yeah. And for those of you who, you know, are really new to that area, we'll have that bus on Sunday also. And the bus will take, you know, it'll distribute us to a place. It won't go to all these different trailheads. Last year we went over by, where were we last year? We went over by North Star. And there's a really good parking area on one side of the road that the bus can park in, and they let us loose. And there are several trails on the other side of the road, and it's a really nice hiking area in that little alcove sort of area. And then we had arranged, and the bus picked us up, you know, at the right time later on.
So that'd probably be one of the options on Sunday.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So on Saturday we're at Tahoe Donner, and then on Sunday we have some choices, but the bus will pick a spot to go to also.
Yeah.
That, you know, will take care of folks, so you don't have to use your car and just everybody going in different ways. But we'll have the opportunity to go different ways. And then on Monday everybody's back to the state or at the state park.
Right. So if you have any doubt, you'll have someone's number that you can call on Sunday and go, okay, where's the bus going? If you're not there already.
I'm going to be.
So we all in.
Go ahead,
Do
Doris.
Do we all enter the state park and we just pay the fee going in and park at the museum, or I mean, is there a meeting place there? On Monday.
Bus sits in the parking lot that's kind of opposite the museum. Trying to think. Jean, explain where the bus.
Yeah, it was right. We parked as if we were going to the museum, and you do need a pass to get in. You know, or to park there. And you know, you probably have some friends or somebody who's got one that you could borrow for the weekend.
If you don't have problem, Ski for Light can reimburse you, but I think it's $10, and it might be a discount for seniors, $2 off or something. But
I was just curious how we do that.
Yeah. Oh, Edie, the other thing you didn't mention for as guides, you know, the skiers, most of the skiers are staying in the motel, and at the motel, they're going to make sandwiches for them. So they'll have their lunches that it's kind of all set up. They'll order whatever sandwich they want, and they'll have their sandwiches for Sunday and Monday, and or the opportunity to buy those sandwiches for Sunday and Monday. But if you're going in as a guide and you're not staying at the motel, you may want to bring something along with you both days for something to eat.
Just each day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you can go back and like on Saturday and get something at the lodge or.
Yeah, on Saturday.
Yeah.
Marie.
Will we have the same person for all 3 days, assuming they want to hike?
Most people will have the same person if it works out. But as I said, I have some people that are coming to guide on Monday that aren't guiding on Saturday and Sunday. I have 2 people that are coming to guide on Monday, and I have some people that won't be there on Sunday or Monday. So there's going to have to be some juggling. But I don't want to change everybody because it gets really complicated if you're trying to change.
Yeah. We try to keep you with the same people if we can.
So.
And there may be some changes.
And
so that'll just give you different experiences.
Sousa, are you still with us? You're muted. You had said you could only guide on Monday, is that, but you were gonna see if you could get free more than that? Is it still just Monday?
I would just count on Monday, and I can check on my volunteer thing and see if I can do a Sunday.
Okay, I have plenty
but I'm
Saturday,
not
but
sure.
Sunday, if you can do Sunday, it would be real helpful because
Yeah, I think it's.
time.
And thank you for doing Monday, because that's always a hard one.
I think it's unlikely, but I will check at this point and see if there's anything.
And like Aaron and Bryce can only do Saturday, so.
Right.
And I do have enough guide Saturday. Aaron and Bryce, I may put the two of you together with somebody and you can trade off if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you're in a learning experience at this point, along with the people who were guiding.
Yes.
This is going to be quite an experience for all of us because about half the people I don't know have never been with us before. They're new of our blind and visually impaired. So we're going to all get communication is really going to be key, Vicki. This
Yep, I know. It is, even when we know them all.
By the way, Vicki has been waiting for a long, long time to get her guide dog. How long have you been?
Over 2.5 years.
And I know you were very dependent on your dog before, so it's.
I'm used to him, but I have a client who lost his. Well, he's losing his sight, and he developed a new hiking cane. I was really kind of looking forward to trying it out. It's a very cool.
Wow.
It's quite cool, and so I don't know. I was thinking I was going to see if I could send it along with somebody who can test it out up there.
So Vicki gets around San Francisco on her own, so that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And just like with sighted people, there are blind people who are more assertive and self-reliant and know what they need. And then there are other people who are less assertive and are less clear about what they need. And I'm sure that's true for all of you too. And so really it's about just being with each other, being present with whatever the situation is, and you figure it out together. But just remembering that whenever possible, if they're holding your arm, you're the one that is in charge of door opens on your right, please reach and grab it, or there's some steps down here, they're uneven. So, then you slow down a little bit. Okay, we hit super highway again. Now we can go. Ready, set, go. And just have fun with your communication and trust yourselves, and don't be afraid to say, okay, this is a new situation. Give me a minute to figure it out.
And one of the things that Vicki mentioned that really helped me one time, I was guiding one of our blind, visually impaired people that's been around a long time, Cindy, and we weren't with Ski for Life. She was up with somebody, and we were going down a really steep, twisty trail dropping down to a lake. And she did kind of what you said about holding on to a pack. I had a fanny pack on, and she held on to that and walked behind me because she could feel when my foot went down.
Yep.
As my hips rotated, it helped her, and it was her idea, and it really worked on a very narrow, very steep. And the whole hike wasn't like that, or it would have been totally exhausted. But it was just for a short way, and it saved her from falling, and it worked really well because she could really perceive how far I was dropping down with each step by the feel of my hip dropping.
I went most of the way from Tuolumne Meadows to Young Lakes up and down like that because it was narrow, and we found we could actually go faster. And now when I went up Shasta and my friend was guiding me, he was talking so much, he got his tongue sunburned.
Oh my God.
I didn't know you could get your tongue sunburned, but so like
it's a strange way of talking.
Yeah, he did. Like, where's mouth? So there's a lot of room for in a way, it's a little bit easier than skiing because there are lots of different ways, different techniques that work. Skiing, you have to be a little bit more precise. But again, it depends on some people will have better balance than others.
Mhm.
And so if you've got someone who doesn't have really good balance, you've got to pay attention to how you organize yourselves so that you might help them balance, but they don't pull you off balance.
Right. Yeah.
Because that can happen. And so there is a little bit of a learning curve, no matter how many times you've done it, just depending on who the person is, which is why I say communication, flexibility, and just enjoy whatever happens. Enjoy the settling in, enjoy the, whoa, we got this. Oh, well, we thought we had it. Like that's part of the experience, and let the visually impaired people be as independent as they want to be. That's what we encourage. They carry their own stuff, like ski season, they handle their skis. They carry their stuff. And your job is just enhancing their experience.
Doris, were you waving your hand at me?
It was. I from the video, watching them, particularly when they got to the steps, either going up or down, up not so much, but going down. They didn't use verbal cues, but it was just stopping at the top step. Do you not just say we're coming up to a step?
Yes, you do.
To go down.
Yes, you do. And not only that, but you say, here's a step and it's down. Because it's always up or down.
Well, it looked like on the video that they didn't give verbal cues, and I was thinking I can see myself stop.
What they said was don't count steps. Like don't say 1, 2, 3, 4, because you're a step ahead. You're going to end before the one person does. It can get confusing.
I thought they should have showed a little more verbal in that.
I did too.
And it's pretty good, but it's not perfect. And we've done the in-person training going at a home or at we've used the airport room. We've gone up and down stairs. We've done more verbal cues than that.
Yeah. Well, I was in a situation the other night. We were going down. It was I had a choir concert. We were doing a lot of stairs, and they went down, but they turned. And the person who was guiding me, I had just said, when we get to the turns, slow down. But she didn't. We went around, we were going down, and she started turning. And all of a sudden, she's way over here in front of me. And I'm like, wait, let me catch up before you go down. And it was a little bit of a learning. So if the steps are straight down, just say, all right, here are steps. And if there's a banister and the person wants the banister, don't take off until their hand is on the banister.
Yeah.
Let them be secure in terms of what they need going down. And so I think that was all I wanted to say on that. And then just remember steps up or down. And sometimes you might say, these are small steps or large, they'll feel you go up. But if they know, okay, this first one's a humdinger, they can kind of be ready for it. I had someone the other day, I was coming up to a curb just in the street, and they came along and just picked up my leg. I'm going to help you. And they picked up my leg. I'm like, I was kind of incensed. I said, would you do that to a sighted woman? And they said, no, she'd slap me. I said, what makes you think a blind one won't? So just be human. Just be good and human.
I think we've pretty well covered most of what we were going to cover, right, Vicki? Are we?
I think so. I just thank you all so much for your willingness to do this. Have fun, ask questions, and we hope that you have a wonderful experience so that you come back so that I get a chance to meet you all in person as well.
Well,
thank you for doing this.
One question.
Mm-hmm.
Will we be given an emergency number
Yeah.
if we're out hiking and need, well, you don't have cell service all over, but
Yeah.
No, some places you do. Yeah.
We'll send out my cell number and you can program it in. And then, of course, if you have an accident and you have cell service, call 911. Don't call me.
sure, yeah, of course.
Trained medical
And the
person.
nice thing is that unless you go way out, there will be other people around. And it's the other reason that we often encourage people to hike in groups of 4.
Yeah.
So that if something happens to one team, the other team is there.
Yeah. So we're going to try to loosely group people, and if you want to change groups or things, you're adults and or you're visually impaired people, will work it out. But we are going to encourage you to go out in groups. And there were a few people that were just too gung ho last year to go.
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
And they did fine, but they were pretty experienced, hard. So anyway, I just hope you guys all have fun, and please don't get sick. Please show up on and on Sunday and on Monday. And I will have my number, and when I send out the emails, I would suggest that you program it into your cell phone. I cannot program all of you into my cell phone. I don't have time to do that, but I'm going to keep a list with me of your cell phone numbers, and so that I can text you if I need to. But you can text or call me, and I'll keep it with me and keep it charged up. I probably won't be hiking. I'm having a lot of issues with my knees right now and trying to decide what to do with them. So the rest of my body does not feel my age, but my knees do. So
I hear you there.
I figure sheep herding you guys for 3 days will be enough work for my knees.
Yep. Exactly.
If any of you are coming to the dinners and want to help set up at the dinner, set up the hors d'oeuvres and things, Doris, you had said you would help. The clubhouse, we can get in the Glenshire clubhouse at 5 p.m. I will give you the times for when the dinners start and everything, but if you have a car and can get in there, luckily we do not have to take down the tables and chairs between Saturday and Sunday. There's
Yay!
Oh, that makes a huge difference.
Yep.
And we'll need people to help clean up afterwards on Sunday. Last year on Monday, while I was at Donner Lake, they called me back because they said there were spots on the floor. It's an ancient laminate floor. And I went back and went over them 3 more times. And I said, those spots were there when we walked in here.
Wow.
Reynolds was a little embarrassed, but I was a little teed off. But
I can imagine. Yeah.
some help cleaning up. Our deposit is like $100 this year.
Wow. Wow.
Edie, Jim and I can help on Sunday do setup and help. When do you need the help?
The setup, I need the most on before the dinner, help on at like 5:30.
And after would be
afterward on Sunday, we have to, when the buses take the hikers back to the hotel, and the guides that are staying at the hotel will be going back with them because they'll need a ride. So I need people with cars to help clean up Sunday afterward, mopping. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to mop that clubhouse. I've done my share.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You can communicate with me too. I'll be sending emails out, so send back and I can give you exact. But the meals are a lot of fun. I don't know, Jean, can we still add anybody that hasn't put in to be at one of the meals? Can we still add any numbers or not?
Yeah, we can do it. We always have extra food.
So if you haven't signed up for the dinners and want to come to one, it's $15 a person, but we're actually subsidizing that.
Yeah, we're subsidizing it a lot. So they're good meals. There's plenty of food, and
they're charging us a lot more than $15. So we'll even have some wine and hors d'oeuvres there. Doris.
I think I'm down for the dinners, but Jean, I need to pay you. Can I pay you with Venmo, or what's the best way now to pay you?
You can either do Zelle or just bring a check when you come, or give me cash.
Not Venmo.
No, just
I'll bring it.
Yeah, no, I'm okay to collect it. This late, it's just as easy for me to take a check from you when you're there. But we do need to know if you're planning on coming, because I could up our numbers a little bit.
And the main,
Well, I was planning.
Yeah.
we had to have money for the hotels by a certain time. The dinners were we've been a little looser. I haven't paid for my husband's and my dinners yet.
I'm keeping track. No.
That's why you're the treasurer.
Need some money.
Somebody's got to do it.
So we've kept you guys for an hour and a half. So,
Thank you for taking the time.
yeah.
Wonderful weekend.
If you have questions, write them to me, but you will be getting, maybe wait till you get the long information email. And then if you have questions after that, just shoot me an email back.
All right, Edie, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Nice seeing you.
Thank you all. Take good care of
everybody.
yourselves. Mhm.
Thanks. See you
Thank you.
Saturday.
Mhm.